Everybody, how's it going? Welcome to the No DQ predictions video for WWE Wrestlemania Backlash. WrestleMania Backlash at the Thunderdome. We're all so excited for this pay-per-view. It is WrestleMania Backlash. It's not just Backlash. It's even more important than it was in previous years. Now, we have our panel here to break down the show, give some predictions, and shout out to everybody in the chat room. I will be posting comments on the screen, so make sure you leave your predictions as we go through match by match. I'm going to throw it over to the general or the new normal, Jerry Slaughter. Jerry, how's it going? And on a scale of 1 to 10, how are you feeling about this pay-per-view?
I'd say about a 5. It's not really. It's basically a bunch of rematches and rehashes of stuff we've already seen, and it's somewhat predictable. But I'm gonna throw in a couple oddball picks just to keep things a little fresh, because you never know. Like, especially with Vince McMahon, he just walk in there, crumble everything up, just throw it away, and we never know what we're going to end up having. So
fair enough. And next up, we have the simple man, Noah Foster. Since Virtue is not here tonight, we got Noah wearing the sunglasses indoors. He's got Impact on the screen. I think Impact has an event tonight, but hey, whoever's here with us tonight, we appreciate it. Noah, how's it going? 1 to 10. How you feeling about this pay-per-view?
I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I'm definitely going to say 5 out of 10. I know that everybody's going to do their best to give us one-of-a-kind performances, but overall, this is extremely predictable and feels nothing more than a marketing ploy for Peacock to further expand upon WWE's biggest trademark. That being said, a couple of these matches do hold some very valuable interest to me, and I look forward to talking about it with you fine gentlemen.
And we have the Big G of No DQ, the Big Baller G. Big G, how you doing? 1 to 10, how you feeling?
I'm doing pretty good. For me, it would be, I'm going to go 4 out of 10. But before we do start, I do need to make an announcement.
Okay.
I've thought about this long and hard. With the wedding coming up and everything like that, I'm going to take a month hiatus off from doing videos.
Oh, wow.
So
sorry
I need to,
Big G.
I mean, I'll still be around. I'll do predictions. When we have our Nintendo Switch nights, I'll still be part of that. But like video wise and stuff like that, I figured maybe a month off or so. I'm just
priorities, man.
And with work and everything like that, I'm mentally and physically burnt out right now. So
respect.
But I'm excited to do this pay-per-view predictions one last time for a month, and let's get this ball rolling, as I like to say.
All right, I got the match graphics for everybody to bask in its glory. Let's go ahead and get started. And no, Keith Lee is not on this show. Our first match is for the SmackDown Women's Championship. We have Bianca Belair defending her championship against Bayley. Now, to me, this is a very predictable match, but I'm going to go ahead and let everybody else do their predictions first. I already have mine, but I want to see if anybody has a different opinion before I give my prediction. So I will throw it over to Big G first. Big G, your prediction for this match. Will we see a new champion?
I think this will be a good match, and we seen them before one-on-one when Bayley was still champ before she lost it to Sasha Banks at Hell in a Cell. And I'm just gonna go with Bianca to retain. It'll be one hell of a match, but yeah, Shayna losing the tag title. Yeah. Shayna losing the title. I'm happy that Shayna lost the title, and no, I'm not taking a break because of that.
Wow. All right, then. Well, King Alex just sent in a $3 super chat. Thank you, King Alex. He says, haven't watched WWE in years, but still love No DQ. Well, I appreciate that very much, King Alex. Thank you for tuning in, even if you're not watching WWE. And I know a lot of people tell me that they have a hard time following WWE, but they still follow the No DQ channel to keep up on things. So, again, it's very much appreciated. let's throw it over to the new normal, Jerry Slaughter. Do you agree with Big G?
Well, first off, I'm going to go ahead and paraphrase the Lost Boys here. When you have no DQ, you don't need to watch WWE wrestling because you know everything just gets spelled out for you. So it kind of works out. But I'm gonna have to go with Bianca as well. I think Bayley's gonna put up an awesome fight and actually like make her look even more credible as a champion, which is something you really need right now anyway. Is a decent title run with Bianca Belair.
All right, and now we throw it over to the simple man, Noah Foster. Noah, would you like to go against Big G and the new normal, Jerry Slaughter?
No, I would not. I feel Bianca Belair has incredible potential and her reign just started. There is definitely, I feel like, a lot to draw from with her as champion, especially with the fact Sasha Banks has yet to speak since WrestleMania. The last time we saw her was a backstage segment where she just stormed off. This should be a really good match, but Bayley had her time and has the history moniker of being the longest reigning SmackDown Women's Champion. It's time for Bianca to start a legacy of her own, and it continues through Backlash. I have Bianca retaining.
Well, I agree with everybody here. That was my prediction all along. Bianca Belair will retain. It's her first title defense after that big win at WrestleMania in the main event. No reason for her to lose. I'm sure it will be a good match. Bayley will be a good first pay-per-view opponent for Bianca, but yeah. I think it's
about to make her a transitional champion right now would just be a mistake and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that would be a very bad decision. So yeah, Bianca Belair retains, and we'll move on to the next match, which is another women's match. This time for the Raw Women's Championship. We have Rhea Ripley versus Asuka versus Charlotte Flair. Now, we had Rhea Ripley recently pick up the Raw Women's Championship over Asuka in a singles match at WrestleMania, and now Charlotte is being added to the mix. So the odds of Rhea Ripley retaining her title drastically go down. Will we see the champ retain despite the odds being against her, or will Rhea Ripley lose her championship? Will she get beat in the match? Noah Foster, I'm going to throw it over to you first. Your thoughts on this one?
The thing is, Rhea Ripley beat Asuka in a one-on-one match this past Monday night while Charlotte was on commentary, so it already defeats the purpose of believing Asuka would be the person to regain the title. You have the Charlotte Flair factor, who, honestly, it's like Roman. You don't bet against Roman. You usually don't bet against Flair. But the other things to figure about here, there's this continued dynamic of her and Sonya. Are they working against Adam Pearce for something bigger? You also now have Alexa Bliss, who might be involved in a short-term feud, maybe with Charlotte Flair regarding events that happened on Monday night. In this era of women champions WWE, where you had the three come together in NXT with their titles, I feel like they want to push these three forward. So there has to be a reason why it's a triple threat. You either protect the queen or you somehow set up Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair for the inevitable one-on-one. Regardless, I feel Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley is to come one-on-one because that's ultimately what Rhea wants. But I feel right now Rhea Ripley needs to retain. And I think it will be, of course, at the expense of Asuka, because you got to protect the queen. I have Rhea retaining.
Yeah, I think Asuka has to be the easy underdog in this one. I would not be shocked if Charlotte Flair wins this. So I'm not entirely confident with my prediction. But I will say Rhea Ripley will retain. I'm just feeling like Becky Lynch will be back soon, and you need to have a top heel for Becky to feud against, and I think that person is Rhea Ripley. You could have it be Charlotte, but like, do we really need to see Charlotte versus Becky Lynch again? I'm still not sure, though. I'm saying Rhea Ripley, but I am not confident with this pick.
Same.
Jerry, how do you feel about it?
Let me paraphrase this by saying, I love Rhea Ripley. She's wonderful. I love her. I love her in-ring action. I love her persona. I love everything about her. But the WWE loves Charlotte, and she didn't get to be in WrestleMania because of a whole bunch of confusion, I'm guessing, plus the Andrade stuff. But I think Charlotte Flair is actually going to win the match. I think that's also the reason why the SmackDown women's title tag titles got moved to SmackDown, and so they wouldn't have both the titles changing hands the same night. So I'm thinking that's going to be the case. I think Charlotte Flair is going to pick up the win. It'll probably be on Asuka, which means Rhea Ripley won't even get pinned for the belt. And the fact that Asuka is actually considered the underdog in this match just shows the caliber of women in this match.
Right.
Yeah, very true. All right, Big G, where do you stand on this?
It's a toughie for me. I mean, everybody made good points. I mean, Vince loves Charlotte Flair, and then they just put the title on Rhea at WrestleMania, and like Noah pointed out earlier, Rhea beat Asuka on Monday night. I like Rhea Ripley, but
Come to the dark side.
I'm gonna go with Rhea Ripley as my prediction, but I have a gut feeling that Charlotte's gonna win.
All right,
so Rhea's my official prediction, but in my back of my head is I feel. I mean, it might be a point that I'll lose, but I'm okay with it.
About the fact that she has Sonya in her pocket too actually does help in this whole situation.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean that's a very good point about Sonya Deville. That could end up being a factor in Charlotte winning this match. Again, I hear you, Big G. I'm not confident about this one. We'll see what happens. To me, this is the most unpredictable match because of the storyline with Charlotte and Sonya Deville.
And then you got Alexa in there too now. So
yeah, exactly. All right, talk about a match that I think everybody will be unanimous on, although maybe not. Let's see how people go with this one. We got Damian Priest one-on-one with The Miz in a lumberjack match, which means Miz has nowhere to hide. Now, of course, everyone's thinking Damian Priest is going to win, but this could be one of those matches where WWE wants to swerve everybody and have The Miz somehow pull off a victory, some kind of shenanigans, and Damian Priest gets screwed. But I'm not going to go with that. I'm taking the safe route. Damian Priest wins, and really Damian Priest should not be losing at this stage of the game. I suppose WWE could do a big swerve, but I'm going to stick with Damian Priest to pick up the win. Big G, what do you think?
Didn't The Miz lose the WWE title in a lumberjack match not too long ago?
Yeah, was that with Lashley?
Yeah, with Lashley, yeah. And I think it was a lumberjack match. I can't remember. But anyways, this should be a good match. I'm going with Damian Priest to get the win here. They need to keep on pushing him and put the rocket on him and let him go loose.
All right. Noah Foster.
It's a lumberjack match. Miz, lumberjack matches don't get along. What does The Miz have to gain in a win? How much more do you defeat Damian Priest as a character? Ever since WrestleMania, it's been kind of a downhill slope. I can only hope this is the first sign that we maybe move him forward into, United States title picture. Regardless, I do not care about this match. I have little no interest in this match, but Damian Priest needs to go over. So Priest is my pick.
All right. General.
I'm going to go with The Miz. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be like Damian Sandow showing up as Mizdow again and helping him win. I don't know. But I think The Miz is actually going to pull it off and surprise a lot of people.
Wow, that surprises me. We have a comment from Radical Romero thinks Morrison will cost The Miz because they have been teasing like a Miz and Morrison split in recent weeks. So that could be a factor. You sure you want to stick with that pick, Jerry?
I'm going to go ahead and stick with it.
All right. Fair enough.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jerry Slaughter is not, I repeat, not at the bottom of the predictions list.
Nope.
So do not
I'm
take him
somewhere
lightly.
in the middle.
Hey, there you go. Moving on up, pal. All right. And now we
To the
have
east side.
There you go. The tag team titles match from SmackDown. We have the Dirty Dogs, the Top Dogs, Rudolph, whatever you want to call them. Two guys that haven't really gotten me much interested in the tag team titles against Rey Mysterio and Rey's son, Dominik. And, of course, the big storyline in WWE with this, the possibility of father and son tag team champions. Now, I could see it happening, but the only thing that's making me doubt it is that WWE has hammered it home so much, bringing it up. It almost makes me think again, are they going to swerve us and not go with the obvious income? But I'll go first on this one. I think we're going to get new tag team champions. Rudolph, it's been boring. It's been going on for way too long. And yeah, I say go with it. Rey Mysterio, Dominik, tag team champions. I mean, I would not be shocked if we went through a whole stream without my picture going black. And I would also not be shocked if we did have the tag champs retain and then on SmackDown next week, they get one more match and Rey and Dominik win on SmackDown or some crap like that. So it might not necessarily happen on Sunday, but what the hell? Going with the new tag team champions on SmackDown. Jerry, what do you think?
You just kind of echoed my sentiment about this whole thing. I think they're going to retain. I think they're going to retain the belts here because, Dominik and Rey winning the belts and becoming the first ever father-son tag team champions is pretty cool. But at the same time, do you really want to do that at WrestleMania Backlash? Basically, it'd be one of the ones you want to save for maybe June or July when we actually start having live shows in front of people again. You want to have that feel-good moment, father and son in the ring and everything. Or you want to have dissension between Rey and Dominik actually happen because maybe Rey gets takes pinfall and Dominik thinks he ruined it for him and all this other stuff. It could be all sorts of different platforms. And WWE does not care about tag wrestling. They'll keep the belts on Roode and Ziggler for as long as they want to. And then when they realize Roode and Ziggler don't want the belts anymore, they'll put them on somebody else. So I think I'm going to stick with Rudolph.
All right. Well, the other reason, and it's been brought up in the chat room, we have the Usos, and of course they're doing this storyline where they're not exactly on the same page, but one would think you want to build up a babyface tag team as champions and eventually have the Usos, once they get back together, challenge that team for the titles. Jerry, do you want to change your pick?
No, I'm going to stick with him now, but if they are going to pull the trigger and have Dominik and Rey win the belts, it's not going to be here.
All right. Noah Foster, what do you think?
It's one of those things where WWE actually cares about the Mysterios having that big moment, or do you just create a moment on something just to make this filler matter? I feel like here they have to make this filler matter. And honestly, Rey Mysterio and Dominik as tag champions, you're setting up for inevitably the Usos, who actually make tag team wrestling matter more than any other team currently in the WWE. So because of that long-term storytelling to come, I think it's going to start from here. I'm actually going with new champions. I think Rey and Dominik will get it done. There's no point in Ziggler and Roode having these titles just to go back on the Street Profits again and just circle the same two teams. And Street Profits, Mysterios, they could have maybe a fun little feud. We've seen teases of maybe the Street Profits feeling a bit underappreciated with the fact they were previous tag champs, didn't get the legitimate one-on-one. Sonya was kind of saying I'm not giving you basically what you want. So I feel right now there's more to come with new tag champs versus the current ones. So I'm going to go with new tag champs, Rey and Dominik.
All right. And Big G, we had a comment from OG Crushes saying that it's a bit obvious to turn Dominik heel. Do you think there's any possibility of that, or what do you think is going to happen?
No, I think they're going to keep the Mysterios together for quite a while. I'm going with new champs as well. And then even before anybody put it in the chat, even earlier today when I was thinking about my predictions, I was like, if we get the Mysterios as tag champs, we can see them versus the Usos. And then, once the Usos are back together and they challenge them, they can win them, and then all three of them would be champs. What did you say? Oh, I mean, Dominik, he still needs to work on his in-ring work, but I mean, he's getting there. So
yeah, I mean, he's still a young up-and-comer, and like Jerry said, they might delay it for a little bit, but we'll see. I could see it going either way. I mean, maybe this pay-per-view isn't quite as predictable as I was thinking, but we'll see how you guys comment on these last two matches coming up here. Big G?
Yeah.
Anything?
Yeah, I was gonna say the card looks like it's predictable, but with WWE, like you said, they could swerve us on any match. So
yeah. I mean, now as we're talking about it, I feel like maybe this is a little bit harder to predict than I thought. initially.
I'm
Although,
about to say Orton versus the Fiend at WrestleMania proved that like nothing is off really limits.
Uh-huh.
They will
Very
do
true.
whatever they want to get us talking or ranting.
All right. And usually ranting. All right. Next up, we have the WWE Championship match. Triple threat. Braun Strowman versus the champ Bobby Lashley versus the former champ Drew McIntyre. Now, WWE has been making a big deal out of this idea that Bobby Lashley could lose the title without being pinned or submitted. Just like Lashley lost the U.S. title back in February in a triple threat match, which makes me think that's not going to happen. And I'm going to go ahead and say I don't think Lashley should be losing the title. And I think Lashley will probably beat Strowman. And that's why Strowman's in the match in the first place, because WWE realized they did not want to book themselves into a corner by doing Lashley versus McIntyre again and having McIntyre take another fall. And they also want to keep the title on Lashley. So thus you add Strowman to the mix and Strowman takes the fall. Lashley retains. But let's go ahead and get everybody's thoughts on it. Big G, what do you think?
So at this point, I could care less about McIntyre. I could care less about Braun Strowman. I'm going with Bobby Lashley to retain, and hopefully we get some fresh contenders to go up against Bobby Lashley, but I do not see that in the foreseeable future. So there we go.
All right. We do have some super chats here. I'll get to these real quick. Walter Cruz with a $2 super chat says, definitely new champions, talking about tag champs just to lose to the Usos. And we do have a $5 super chat from Josh Mansfield. He says, little something in honor of Big G. Love you, bro. Keep your head up, and we got your back. Also, shout out to my bro Noah, and howdy to Jerry. What's up, Aaron? How's it going, Josh Mansfield? We appreciate you tuning in. Thank you for your longtime viewership, and maybe we'll get you on for an ODQ review. Since Big G is going to be taking a break, that opens up the possibility for some.
There's a spot open.
Yeah, we talked about this last week on the review. Maybe Josh could be on. We might look into a few other possibilities. So anybody out there wants to be on, give us a holler and see if we can make it happen for you. All right, OG sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you for that. Says, I really don't care, but Bobby is keeping the title. All right, Jerry, what do you think about this one?
I think Bobby Lashley is going to retain, and I think Dijakovic and Deal Madden are going to have something to do with it since they're not involved with MVP. I think they'll like either neutralize Strowman or McIntyre at some point during the match, and from there, like they'll just be easy pickings for Lashley.
All right, and we'll go over to the simple man, Noah Foster.
If you really want me to echo my sentiments on this match, please go watch the No DQ review where we literally talk about the state of the WWE Championship on Monday Night Raw and the challengers. The only reason you got a triple threat, just like the Raw women, you're avoiding a rematch from WrestleMania. The bottom line is this: Lashley retains. Next.
All right, that's short and sweet. So we're already to the main event, guys. We're moving through this pretty quickly. We have the WWE Championship match. The Tribal Chief, the head of the table, the big dog, Roman Reigns, defending his Universal title against the man who is getting his very first World Championship opportunity in WWE. That being the Swiss Superman, Cesaro. Many times voted the NoDQ.com most underrated wrestler of the year. Finally getting his chance in the main event spotlight. I'm really looking forward to this match, but I have a pretty good feeling about who's going to win this one. I will go last on this since I went first last time. Big G, I'll throw it over to you first on this one, put you in the hot seat.
All right,
so Cesaro dethroning the head of the table. What do you think?
There's so many possibilities or scenarios, I should say, that are going through my head right now. So obviously, I'm going with Roman retains. I can't bet against Roman Reigns, even if I try to. I'm not going to. It's going to be one hell of a match. Cesaro is going to have a couple of near falls. I see Jay getting involved with it. And I also see Jimmy getting involved where Jay's trying to get involved, but Jimmy tells Jay not to do it, but Jay still does it. And then somehow Cesaro gets distracted and Roman retains. Because I think Jimmy is going to try to help Cesaro too, but it kind of backfires. So that way this whole storyline can still, with Jay, they milked it for like a month or two. So I feel like we're going to get like at least a month or two when the fans come back. Maybe July, we'll see the Usos, back together, and Jimmy will be a heel or Jay will be a face. And everybody can wear that lovely shirt that Jimmy Uso came out. Nobody's, B word. So there you go.
And Mr. Tito brought up how hopefully this match will get some match of the year hype. And I hope so. I think they definitely have potential to be a match of the year contender. But I could see the interference in this one for sure with the Usos and that whole soap opera drama going on with them. WWE Action Figures Matches sent in a $4 super chat, says, why don't we get Cesaro and Seth Rollins as a tag team? We might. I could see a Seth Rollins babyface turn and him and Cesaro becoming a duo together. Now, what about if Seth Rollins showed up and actually cost Reigns the title? Noah Foster, what do you think about that as a possibility?
This is going to be a great match. This is the whole reason the show matters and why I'm going to watch it in the first place. First off, I mean, since the Daniel Bryan thing, that Cesaro was put forward because of Daniel Bryan, and Cesaro has been finally pushed into the main event spot where he always deserved to be. That being said, I like that idea of Seth and Cesaro coming together as a tag team, former rivals, in the ring, respect over each other, actual athleticism, and showing in the ring as well. The most interesting thing about this match when it comes to Roman Reigns as head of the table, how the story plays out, what's the bigger story here, what's next for Cesaro, what's next in the bloodline, and above all else, will a certain Uso finally acknowledge him as the head of the table? There's so many different ways I see the story playing out, regardless of the predictable result being Roman Reigns, but I feel this actually has potential to be a match of the year candidate, and whether or not Seth Rollins should be in the night, Cesaro and Seth come together, whether the Usos come together out of nowhere, or further build that suspension of disbelief that I'm nobody's but I kind of understand now where you're coming from. This is going to be a very intriguing match. When I think about what could be next for Cesaro in inevitable defeat, they might go on this in a best of series. I mean, honestly, with Cesaro's capabilities and Roman's storytelling, these two could have a potential Iron Man match where really everything is laid out and played out. And I could honestly see that maybe be in the next phase here, but being Money in the Bank, it might just be a ladder match. Regardless, it's predictions. Roman Reigns is going to retain, but Cesaro and Seth, I would not rule that out, but I don't see that happening this soon.
All right, and we do have a few more super chats here, which I'll get to. OG Crushes sent in $2. Thank you for that. Says, I want Cesaro to win so bad, but I am going with Roman.
Same.
Here's the thing that I find funny. Like, if Cesaro loses this, I could see a lot of people on Twitter complaining, saying same old shit. WWE just teases us with Cesaro, and Cesaro's getting buried again. Like,
what did give away?
You're channeling,
my virtue
you're
impression.
channeling virtue. That's your virtue impression.
All right.
Virtue would be very proud of that, Big G. I'm sure you'll get some compliments very shortly on
And the
social
award
media.
of the smallest violin goes to Big G for the best virtue impersonation of May 2021. Congratulations.
We got a $5 super chat from Ernie Eastman. Says, and thank you for that, says, what is there a screw job? Is there a screw job by the Usos turning against Roman? I would say highly unlikely in all likelihood.
That'd
I would say
be
there's no
beyond
chance.
insane.
Yeah, that would be a bad decision. Like the Usos, you're keeping them with Roman Reigns as long as Roman Reigns is a heel, in my opinion. They got to be that monster heel faction. That would be a really bad swerve. So I hope that doesn't happen. And Walter Cruz sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you for that. Says, the timing of Cesaro's push sucks. I feel like if it was a different time, he would win. But middle of this head of the table story, he cannot. It won't work. Yeah, I think you make a very good point there, Walter Cruz. And I saw another comment in the chat room about them possibly dragging this out like a couple of pay-per-views, which we saw that happen with Kevin Owens. Would not shock me if they do that. As much as I like Cesaro, I think it needs to be a one and done, but we'll throw it over to Jerry first, and then I'll give my final thoughts on it. Jerry, go ahead. What do you think?
Roman Reigns is going to retain. And I like Big G's idea that like Jimmy accidentally causes the win to happen, but I don't see Cesaro suffering too bad in this, because in my head I already have it in my mind that there's actually someone bigger that Cesaro can go against and beat for a title and be that much more epic, and that's Walter in NXT UK.
Ooh, that would be interesting. I don't know if that's ever going to happen, but that's always a
That'd be
possibility.
the match among matches right there.
Damn right.
Yeah, it would be. All right, so yeah, I'm going with Roman Reigns to retain. I know there are many Cesaro fans out there that would love to see it. If it was going to ever happen, I think you would be best to do it with a live crowd, but I still don't think Cesaro should be beating Roman Reigns. I don't think anybody should be beating Roman Reigns.
Not right now. He's the best thing on. He's the best thing on SmackDown. He's the best thing in WWE right now.
I'm about to say he's the best thing in WWE. Period.
In the Morrison's word, correct.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but we need some one and dones. Roman needs to beat people. I know WWE is short on guys, but like I said, you can have Jimmy Uso face Roman Reigns at some point before the Usos reunite. And then you can have Seth Rollins, and you can maybe drag Seth Rollins out for a couple months since Roman Reigns and Seth have that history. But I think you need to start building up somebody who can eventually beat Roman Reigns, but you got to build that person up. And in the meantime, I think Roman should keep going through guys one by one. And then, of course, in October, you have the ability to switch people around with the draft, and you can bring in some fresh opponents for Roman Reigns. Probably Drew McIntyre and maybe a few other guys. WWE, yeah, there you go. Keith Lee, very much. WWE action figures matches sent in a $4 super chat. Thank you for that. Says, I want Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns again. That rivalry is fire. Yeah, I mean, it's got to be happening. Like, I can't imagine Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns with the roles reversed not being a match in the near future.
Yeah.
Jerry?
Especially with Money in the Bank. Especially with Money in the Bank being the next pay-per-view, where literally Seth came back and took out Roman and won the title.
Yeah.
And let's not forget about John Cena. John Cena coming back once we have fans again. He's another possibility to challenge Reigns. They do have some guys that they can do without having to do Cesaro versus Reigns for 3 months. Jerry, did you want to add something?
Oh no, I was actually going to say the whole like role reversal thing, the fact that like Rollins would be the face and the Roman Reigns be the heel at this point. That's an interesting dynamic in itself. So that would be great.
If they do that, I would say that for SummerSlam. Two of your, I guess Seth Rollins is still pretty big, but as the top baby face, you know,
it'll take a while to regain the fans' trust at this point. That would be a good amount of time, right about August.
Yeah.
And OG Crushes here with a great point. He sent in $2. Thank you for that. Says Reigns versus Nakamura versus Mysterio versus Big E, etc. And Brendan also mentioned Randy Orton. Once they do the draft, you can send Orton to SmackDown and do Reigns versus Orton. There's a lot of people that Reigns can go through before next year's WrestleMania.
You think they're going to do the King of the Ring again, and that's going to set up for a next possible #1 contender?
They should.
I wish they would. Don't know if they're going to, but it's been 2 years now since King Corbin won, and I guess Corbin's done
has it really
for 2 years. Yeah.
Well, you know what?
I think Nakamura putting on his crown the other night actually like solidified that maybe they're looking for a change of the guard, and maybe they're actually going to do another King of the Ring tournament.
And let's not forget about Brock Lesnar too. We're all forgetting about him. Lesnar versus Reigns with the roles reversed.
And you know, with the crowds coming back in July, Aaron, you pointed this out. I think they're going to save everybody to come back when we have a full crowd.
Absolutely. Like
we're
not
Lesnar versus Reigns. Lesnar versus Reigns Heyman on full match.
Yeah. Paul Heyman, you gotta pick sides.
Yeah, I mean, they got to do
That's
that.
why it's gonna be. That's why it's gonna be such a great story, such a great feud when it does go down.
Agree.
Yeah, there is no reason for Reigns to lose that title with all those possibilities.
Nope.
Let me ask you guys this question. So Lesnar does come back. Does Heyman screw Reigns, or does Heyman stick with Reigns and Lesnar just goes solo?
I think he sticks with Reigns. I think Heyman's got to go with the young lion. Brock is the old lion. That's the story.
All right. I just figured I'd put that out there because I was thinking about that. I was like, what if Roman came back or Lesnar came back? So
well, it'd be interesting.
That's the thing, though, Big G. Lesnar leaves. That's the thing. Like Roman Reigns only went away for a long time because of leukemia. Yeah. Otherwise, he's been a mainstay in the WWE.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar, if his contract expires, he's not making enough money, or if he has other things to do, he just bolts.
Yeah.
Like Paul Heyman knows he's got pretty much a permanent cash cow right now in Roman Reigns, and that's where he's going to stick with.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
All right. We do have a few more super chats here. We have one from WWE Action Figures Matches. Thank you for that. It says, Cesaro needs a win. Roman kind of sucks.
Dude, what are you smoking right now? Roman Reigns is the thing in WWE right now. He is the top guy. He is Vince's cash cow right now. If it wasn't for Roman Reigns, I don't think I'd be watching WWE right now. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, well, I mean, everybody has their own tastes. Not everybody's on board with Roman Reigns, but as somebody who's been watching wrestling for 30 plus years, this is the best thing WWE has done in a long time with Roman Reigns.
Very much so.
I'm channeling my inner virtue tonight.
This is the best thing they have done with Roman Reigns in his entire career.
Absolutely. I'm with you 100% on that.
Correct.
Simple as that.
I can't believe that's becoming a thing now. The Miz and Morrison's correct.
Oh, it'll be on a t-shirt. It'll be on a t-shirt. It'll be on a t-shirt before you know it.
All right.
You're saying correct, but yeah.
Walter Cruz sent in a $3 super chat. Thank you, Walter. Says Seth Rollins could win Money in the Bank, cash in, but announce it first. Yeah, he could do that, and that's certainly a possibility for July. I'm wondering, so before we go here real quick, I'm going to go around. I'm going to ask you guys, for the July pay-per-view, if they're doing Money in the Bank with a crowd, and it's the first pay-per-view with a full capacity indoor crowd, who should Roman Reigns' opponent be for that show? Should they bring in Cena for that one, or Lesnar if they can get him, or should they do Seth Rollins or Jimmy Uso and just not rush things? What do you guys think? Anybody have an opinion on it? That I'm thinking they should maybe just go with Jimmy Uso, but I could see them rushing something just to have the biggest match possible with the full crowd. What do you guys think? Anybody have an opinion?
So the full crowd would be July, and that's what Money in the Bank, possibly.
Yeah, Money in the Bank pay-per-view.
Well, if they were smart, I would go with Jimmy Uso, but I have a gut feeling they're going to drag out the Cesaro feud for at least a couple more months. So, all right. Or you know what? I'm also thinking Edge might come back. We haven't seen Edge in a while.
You haven't seen him since WrestleMania, where he stacked him and pinned him.
That would be it.
That would be the pop.
That
would be the pop.
Edge come back with the full crowd. That at Money in the Bank, that place would go off.
Yep. There you go. Edge took his hiatus now after WrestleMania, and yeah, you got to do Roman.
He's not injured, is he? He's not. We haven't heard any injury reports.
He's just rested up.
Let's just laying low until there's an opportunity for him to come back. And yeah, I could absolutely see that happening. Money in the Bank or SummerSlam, Edge getting that match.
How fitting for the ultimate opportunist. Yep, and Spear versus Spear is finally visited 1-on-1.
Maybe Edge wins Money in the Bank. And, it's a whole...
Oh, that would be so awesome. Oh, my
God.
There we go. Oh, my God.
That'd be the match. It'd be Jimmy Uso versus Roman Reigns at Money in the Bank, with Edge winning the Money in the Bank briefcase earlier that night. Roman Reigns beats Jimmy Uso, only for Edge to come in, cash it in on him, while Jimmy actually helps Roman lose the belt.
Yeah, and I mean, in that case, I'm not the biggest fan of Reigns losing the title, but I think the crowd would absolutely love that if Edge cashed in Money in the Bank.
I mean,
and
yeah,
how
we had
pissed Reigns would be. Like, it would be great.
I know we had a live crowd at WrestleMania, but I think that was more Roman's moment just to like solidify himself. And I think Money in the Bank.
And by the way, people are confused about Money in the Bank, and we were actually talking about this before we went live. So the Madman podcast, which broke the story about late July being the potential start of the live touring, they posted a picture at Money in the Bank of the Money in the Bank arena. So I think they're doing Money in the Bank in July. I don't think they're doing Extreme Rules in July. I think they're switching the two, but at this point, nothing is 100% set in stone until they announce it. I presume we'll know at the pay-per-view, WrestleMania Backlash, we'll know what the next pay-per-view is. You know, they always have the commercial for it. So we should know for sure.
As long as it's not on a rooftop, I'm happy.
Oh, God.
And WWE Action Figures Matches sent in a $4 super chat. Thank you for that. Says, John Cena, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins have history. Triple threat? No more triple threats. I think after this, we need a break with triple threats for a while. I'm cool with some singles matches until you absolutely have a good storyline reason to do a triple threat. Like it's
WWE Triple Mania.
I honestly think triple threat matches.
That'll be the name of a
more from like mid card. Like I think the mid card matches should be more like triple threats versus like the main events, which should be more one-on-one like competition.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look at what they're doing with the Intercontinental Championship. They're doing a multi-person match on SmackDown next week, not the pay-per-view. Case in point to what you're saying, Jerry. And by the way, I could totally see WWE Triple Threat being the name of a pay-per-view.
Oh my God, no!
Hey, remember Fatal 4-Way? Thanks, Mike Adamley.
You put it out there. Why would you do that, Noah?
Because it's such good shit.
Hey, profanity on my channel.
I think we've gone off the rails.
I think on that note, it's time to do the plugs, because when Noah Foster busts out profanity, something is amiss, and we got to.
What are you talking about?
All right. So we're gonna throw it over to Jerry first. Jerry, go ahead and give us your plugs, anything that you would like to promote.
Well, I have my Twitter, which is general_JSJ. You can follow me there, even though I really don't even have the app. I just kind of like post every now and then in there. But I also have my Facebook group, Armbar, all capital, ARMBAR, exclamation point.
Don't forget it.
And eventually I'm going to start doing videos again. I've actually finally gotten the Peacock app on my phone, on my tablet, so I'm able to watch NXT and NXT UK and everything, keep better tabs on stuff. So hopefully I'll be able to start something up again relatively soon.
Now, Jerry, you're in for the next review, and Calvin Bowman asked when it is. It is next Thursday. We're every Thursday night, 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Jerry, you're in.
I am on there for this coming Thursday. Yes.
All right, and Big G is going to be taking a little break, so that fourth spot will be open. Open casting call for the fourth spot.
Battle Royal.
Maybe it'll be
over the top rope. Both tweets must hit the floor.
Both tweets.
Exploding ring.
There you go. You guys got some good ideas here. All right,
double or nothing.
Big G, let's go ahead and get your plugs and make it a good one, since this will be your last one for a while.
Just follow me at nodq.com/BigBallaG. That'll take you to my Twitter page, and I'll be on Twitter all the time still. I will still be doing my TikTok, so if you have a TikTok, go follow me at BigBallaG1988. You know, it's a pleasure always being on with you guys. I like doing the videos with you and stuff like that. And like I said, I'll still be in the chat room moderating and slaying those trolls like Virtue likes. And, you know, we'll still do the Nintendo Switch and stuff. It's only a month. I ain't going to be gone. You can't get rid of me that easy.
Nah.
We'll see you next year, Jeff.
Mr. Tito sent in a $2 super chat, says, Mario Kart guys, make it happen. Whenever you guys want to do it, I'm down.
Let's go.
And by the way, I posted the link publicly on Facebook and Twitter So if you guys are not following me, you should. If you would like to join in on one of our Mario Kart or other Switch game sessions, at Aaron Rift on Facebook and Twitter. And I post those links out every now and then. We do our Switch nights. Maybe I'll have to do it a little bit more in advance so people can make the time for it. But yeah, that'll happen at some point. Let's go ahead and get Noah Foster's plugs.
Okay, well, first off, gentlemen, this was fun. Good luck to everybody. And again, No DQ Galaxy, your opinions matter. The No DQ Galaxy Predictions Forum is live as of right now. So follow me on Twitter at nfoster9016 for the link. But of course, follow No DQ on Twitter as well. And why should you follow me? If you want to know this. I'm just a simple man and a lifelong fan of wrestling. Can you tell? So, of course, follow me, like I said, on Twitter. Instagram's the same thing, at nfoster9016. Follow my Silver YouTube channel. Just look up nfoster1916 or youtube.com/c/NoFoster210 for all things wrestling. Shout out to W Family on Twitter. I'll be doing podcasts, reviews, stuff regarding Impact, AEW, NJPW, and other stuff galore too. So stay tuned for more on that, especially with Double or Nothing coming up very soon, where I'm already in a little bit of a friendly bet going on right now. But as always, I like to close, folks. There are no winners, there are no losers, there are no bears. There are just fans with own opinions for this passion we all share. So at the end of the day, support one another and respect each other and just enjoy life and enjoy wrestling. Simple as that. Good luck to everybody tomorrow night.
Very well said, Noah. The one and only Noah Foster, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, you can follow NoDQ.com for pay-per-view coverage of the WrestleMania Backlash, match by match, of course. And I'll be back after the pay-per-view with my post-show recap. Tune in for that. Hope to see many of you there for that. And we'll be doing this all again next week with all the shows. We'll hopefully keep our sanity. But until then, take care, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And best of luck to Big G with the next month break. Hopefully you rest well and you'll come back with those batteries recharged. But until then, we will see everybody next time.